Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video. Today I'm doing a review of the History of the Daleks set 12. I hope I got that one right this time. It's as of this recording, 27th of November 2022. It's the most recent, almost the latest in chronological order sort of History of the Daleks set. So this is from the late 1970s story Destiny of the Daleks. Not my favourite Dalek story ever, I'll be honest. Probably a decent one to get someone into, well, maybe not into classic Doctor Who, but to get a flavour for classic Doctor Who. I like, however, although this isn't my favourite Dalek story, I think as action figures slash collector's items, question mark, these work really well as figures. I've just remembered I do have the original sort of Suicide Dalek from from Destiny even, but I don't have it easily available to me right now, which is annoying. But what was I going to say? But I do like this design quite a bit. It retails for £21.99 here in the UK. But again, much like I said in my previous review, now you can finally buy these sets online on the B&M website. Just take into consideration that you will obviously have to pay P&P. Although I suppose it kind of evens out if you're having to then pay for bus fares or, petrol and all that to get to a B&M near your person. But anyway, less about boring adult things and more about Daleks. On the skirt piece you've got this sort of black bit, but then you've got this silver bit as well, which I don't know if is accurate to the actual prop, but on this one you have that, but on the other one you don't. Much like with the Genesis one of them doesn't have the oval in the middle, but the other one does. This one's got like a black gun, but then weirdly enough, no black ball joint. I don't know if that's actually accurate to the original prop, but then this one has the more bronze gun stick, and then a bronze ball joint. Both have very sort of silver chipped. Well, actually, this one doesn't have as silver chipped spheres, but this one does have more of a chipped sort of weathered silver spheres on the bottom, and then also the sort of black band around the midsection. This one, much like the previous set, the Genesis one, has the sort of dimple sort of headlights, but with like this sort of grey, sort of dark black sort of wash over them. I love this sort of dark, well, sort of light grey actually, sort of colour scheme for these ones. It just makes them really stand out. It's sort of like this, dark, well, not dark, but sort of light grey wash or colour, which again just adds to the sort of, again, for lack of a better term, cheap tattiness of these Daleks, with the black gun stick and manipulator arm, which again, much like every other Dalek, does go side to side, up, down, left, right, and they are on 3 wheels, so usual Dalek movement, roll them about places. What else? You've got the Dalek slats with this sort of grey mesh and that. This one has the sort of white headlights, and this time you've got this sort of like lipped effect on the eye stalk, as well as 4 rings all spaced out. And yeah, I really like the eye stalk sort of detail. On my one, the eye sort of thing in the white thing is slightly up a bit, so they look like they're kind of looking off to the side a little bit. But that might just be my ones. But yeah, really sort of cool, sort of, again, weathered, tatted, cheap, battered, grimy, sort of effect has really been taken into place here. And for that I do commend character options. I do like that, that they've gone to that effort to make these action figures look like the tatty props, you know, because they really are battered and worn and tatted in Destiny of the Daleks. I'll be honest, it's kind of a shame we never see that sort of look for the Daleks again, really. I mean, even in Remembrance of the Daleks look pretty goddamn good. You know, even the Renegades, which, again, are kind of a bit more sort of kind of on the back foot, I suppose, in that story, and that. But yeah, these ones are just, yeah, really sort of makeshift almost, you know, kind of like the Reconnaissance Dalek, but like unintentionally sort of scuffy and a bit sort of like, yeah, falling at the breaking at the seams, basically, you know, as Dalek props. Much like with the Genesis one, this one's just got the sort of all black skirt with the sort of silver scuffs and that, but I really like the subtlety of the silver and the black on this one. Really just makes them stand out at the sort of right at the bottom and that, and likewise with the fact that this one doesn't have the sort of black band, but then this one does. This one has the black sphere, this one doesn't, you know, so even though they're both this sort of grey block colour, there are differences to both in this set, and yeah, even though I prefer Genesis of the Daleks, obviously, as a Doctor Who story, as action figures and or collector pieces, collection pieces to add to the collection of Doctor Who tat that I've got over the years, these ones definitely take the cake for me, or definitely, yeah, make more of an impression to me than the Genesis ones personally. But however, I am looking forward to eventually getting, hopefully, the Genesis Dalek, I mean Davros, the Davros and the Genesis Dalek in that 2-pack at some point in the future, as that's the last set that I need to get from the Winter Wave. But yeah, as I say, they have the standard sort of articulation of manipular arm up, down, likewise with the gun stick, and the eye stalks move up and down, and the domes do move full 360, which is something that I forgot to mention in the Genesis Dalek review, but, you know, likewise with them, the Genesis and the Destiny, the same articulation, the same basic sort of Dalek mould, but just different paint schemes and different little details here and there on both. And I assume, much like Batman March said in his review, that the sort of scuffed up silver effect on the spheres is different per set, you know. And it's nice that, as I say, they've done it on one, but then on the other there isn't as many, so even if you got 2 of these sets, then there'd only be 2 with the scuffed up silver or black spheres and silver, and then the other 2 not as much weathering, as it were, or any at all. I think that's a nice detail or difference, even if you get, as I say, a few of these sets to army build. But yeah, thanks for watching. Please do comment, rate and subscribe to the channel.